Hey, Nick. Hi. Can you hear me? I can't hear me if you can hear me. Can
Hey,
you hear me?
Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, hey, hey.
How are thou?
Whew.
You good? You
I'm
good?
good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking. Yes.
Good. Good, good, good. So
Sorry
this is
for the
gonna be
delay.
a working
Hmm.
session. I said, can this be a working session? I know we were going over this was I gotta learn. You have what, two monitors up or something?
Nope. This one.
Oh, I'm tripping. I can always minimize that. And you can still see me, right?
I was gonna. What did you want to go over first?
Let's see what I have up first. You know what? Because let me pull that up from my phone. That'll be easier. Hold on. How do I get back to you? See, this is crazy. Nope, I'm gonna stay right here. Okay. And then do the rest on the iPad.
So, what did you think
So
about the presentation and everything, like the whole layout of everything?
that's what I wanna go over. I love it. I really do. I mean, it's like you don't have to think too much. So I like that.
That's what I
Well,
was
I
just we were just talking about that, just making life easier with AI. So that's the whole key
and
key
I'm
key.
trying to explain that to my sons and them, and you gotta be careful with AI. It's like, yeah, it's an unknown for most people, but to be, be afraid of it is not the way. It just has to be used right, right? So I'm learning how to use it the right way, and you're
It's
teaching
really
it.
just
It
being
shouldn't be
open to the
teaching you.
conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's being open to the conversation because it is what everybody says it is, but at the same time you have to use it for what you can use it for.
What you need to use it for. Exactly. You teach it for you. You don't
Right.
want it to teach you your stuff, you know?
Which you can do too. But I mean, but that's
Right,
just
right, right.
that's the crazy thing about it. So I mean, but you can't do. But see, the thing about you can't avoid it. It's here. So that's literally the conversation we were just having. That's why I was running late. So just it's here. So
Hmm.
it's anything. It's nothing
Hmm.
we can do about it. But okay. So this is the whole layout of what we have. But here, so I did two different layouts of the presentation, right? And I like this one better just because it looked more clean. So if we had the presentation like this, like the webinar like this up, and we still go through the script type thing. I honestly thought we could just go back and forth. Like the script was cool too, but it kind of gave us things to talk about. But my thought was, and
That's under the Google Drive one or the
yeah, this so I put everything in one link so
okay,
that I sent
okay.
you. hmm
Yeah,
So that's this
I
here
got
on the screen. So this first link is that first presentation with these white people. You see the white people on the screen?
not this one.
I can't see.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead, do it again. Get that one. So what you think about that one?
I like it. I mean, it's a little
So I don't like that one. I like the second one better. So go to the second one. That's why I asked. So I like that one at first, but I like the second one better because it's just cleaner. But that's why I was asked. I guess I thought that question.
yeah,
So
that
there's
I keep pulling up the same one. Okay, wait a minute. Can you pull it back up, the one you just had? I'm sorry.
So this is the one that you're looking at right on the screen. Is that right?
I
Look at the
can't see
screen.
it.
Okay.
Probably too much light.
I thought I was sharing the screen. It wasn't. It wasn't even you. It was me. So it was me. Okay, so this is the one you're looking at on your phone.
Yes.
So yeah, this one is pretty. I mean, I like the animated characters. I guess this is like the north. I like this one too. I can't even lie because I'm looking at it. It's like it's all engaging. Look,
This
it's
is
all.
how I think, when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, yeah, it gives me that AI feel, which I wish we could make it Black people, but um, I like the illustration, the visual is
Hmm.
always for me, that's how I learn and work. Um, and I would assume, it's comfortable for a lot of people. So I'm gonna say yes. I like that one better. Um, get the slides at. No, no.
That's right. That's
Oh,
good perception. So this is the other one. So you like that? Okay. I'm with you. Just because of the
this one looks more techy.
hmm
Um, like you're using more bandwidth, but I love it structurally. I don't know if that makes sense. I like the structure, um, but I like the easiness of the other one. Okay.
I'm down
Now
with
you're
you.
gonna make it hard. And I love the $97. We upped it.
So I mean the pictures we can of course if it's we can change them. That's not a big deal. But like you said, this is this is cleaner. Now that
It's
I'm looking
clean.
at it, it
Hmm.
is. So I can see I'm an easy sell. Okay, great. And so the so we so this I believe goes with this one, which is the great thing. The webinar
And
script, which what is that right here?
we
Okay, so
found that the script, the script.
mhm. So this is the script of it, but it's just like I was
Was that
saying,
the blue?
if we
No, that
go
wasn't the
with
blue.
this if we go with this one, we don't you think we can talk this through 15 minutes?
Absolutely. That's gonna go so fast.
I think so too. And I mean, with the script, I mean, I like it where it gives you an idea, but I just said that we would try to go and see. So in other words, we pick one of the presentations. We strategically see how we want to do it, and we just because I don't want to make it a pressure type situation. It's because I don't think it needs to be. To be honest, what do you think?
Okay. You don't think it needs to be what?
Pressure situation because when you have slides like this, I mean, if we have structure of time, then we can just
Right.
talk.
Right.
That's what I was thinking because I mean it's structure on the screen. But I
Hmm.
don't know how your comfort level is in regards to presentations or what have you. So that's why I wanted to give the whole script thing too. But
Can we time it?
of course we could do it. We could do it now actually. So
Okay.
how do you feel most comfortable in wanting to do it? You want to try to do it with the script and seeing if we can do it with the script, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I want to see if I could do it with the script.
Okay, let's try.
Okay. Let me get that back up here.
So it's on the screen for you, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so we
here it
try to
is.
get our timer. I just want to see something. We're gonna do it loosely. It's nothing major, but we're gonna go with the script. So
Okay. All right.
it's so crazy. So I'm learning these Zoom tools so that when whenever we do have our assignment, okay, there's the timer. Okay, so I'm trying meeting leadership. I think it's got a time up, timer app. Boom. Go, Adrian. Go, Adrian. With the timer app. Okay. And now I'm gonna put it on 15 minutes just to see, because we know that's what we have. We're not gonna even play with it. Or should we do
Okay.
stopwatch? No, let's just do time. Let's see, right?
Yeah.
Just, and then that way we can try to keep, so we know there's, how many slides are there? This is how I look at things. Okay, so if there's 10 slides, we have 15 minutes. That means we have no more than 90 seconds per slide. So that's a good way to, for us to be time cohesive. Okay. So
90 seconds per slide. Okay. 1, 2,
just to kind of keep, you know how you can get to telling stories or what have you, and you can get off
uh-huh.
basis. So that way it'll kind of give you, if we look up at the thing, this is, time is going, you'll know.
Wrap it up.
Right. Okay, let me bring up. Sure.
All
That's this one. Shit. That's the five. So it looks like, let me get some paper. Hold on 6 seconds.
right. Okay. Welcome, welcome. We are not going to spend 5 minutes on introduction because in the next 15 minutes, you're going to build something, a real dementia caregiving relief plan. Print tonight. So let's start with one question. If a caregiving emergency happened tonight, would your family know what to do? Who to call? Where the important pages are?
Okay, are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go from the beginning.
Okay.
I do. See, it's like these little, okay, here we go. Get out the way. Can't go,
No.
I can't go back. Okay, let me just do this. Option. Oh. We had to raise the hand, lower the hand, eh? Gosh. 1 second. Okay. All right, there we go. Now back to the share. It's like all little buttons. And it's like it should be a way that all the buttons should clear out the way so that one thing at a time for a person like Adrian. Okay. It's all right. Love me anyway. All right, so can I see the timer? The timer's there. And okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. We are not going to spend a whole lot of time or 5 minutes on introductions because in the next 15 minutes, you're going to build something, a real dementia caregiving relief plan you can actually plan and print tonight. So let's start with one question. And the one question, if a caregiver actually had an emergency tonight and if a caregiver emergency happened tonight, would your family know what to do, who to call, where the important papers are? Type one word in the chat for me. Ready, unsure, or overwhelmed. I see unsure. Okay, I see overwhelmed. Great, great. I see you're in the right room. Great. So click the link in the chat. That's going to be your companion tool today. So I got to figure out how to do this dance because I'm going to have to be able to do both. I'm going to need two screens.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be that's too much for one. That's why I was like, how are you seeing both of them? You got two screens. Yeah, you're gonna need two screens, baby.
Right, because I'm sitting here like, how am I doing? Look, I'm trying to read too. How am I gonna figure out all of it? Let me think about this process. Hold on, Paul.
Okay.
Uh,
Number time,
think
but
about it.
not.
Let me think about it. So how about we do it without the tool first, and we just read and see? Because we look at so that was just a minute. That was a minute. That was too much time. That's why I said the script might be too long. Okay,
Mm,
you see what I'm saying? So that was a. It's
hmm.
at 13:46, and we on slide two. So let's do this. Let's start over. Let me just look at the script real quick. So look at the slides. It's that way. So you see how let's just come up with a system. Because that's me reading is not gonna do. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Because like I'm not a read, like I don't read. Here's what's about to happen. In the next 10 minutes, you'll identify because it's on the screen. So what if we do
Hmm.
this? We can read with like you see how on this we can just alternate slides.
Mm,
You see what I'm
mm.
saying? So I'm looking at the script and what's on the script on the slide. We can just alternate slides and say what's on the slide. So see how it says like for example, the legal clock is mine. Because I can't see. Let me think this through. A. Hmm.
There's the window. Let me read.
How am I gonna draw? How am I have? How am I gonna be able to have both? How am I gonna be able to have both up at the same time? So should I just do this? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So should we just have this instead of the slides and just have this as the slides? So in other words, when we do the present, so instead of having the slideshow,
I
just the
really
drop.
like that slideshow, and you put some work in, but originally I was thinking that this is what we would be showing as we talked. But it does make more sense to preface this, why you need this. Um, so we go right into, build your own. But I think all of the lead in that's in the script is still necessary too. That's why I'm like, oh, 15 minutes is not a lot of time. Um, but I guess a lot of that, no, no, it's not. That's like a good ice warmer. If an emergency happened today, um, how prepared would you be? And then everybody on the call is not gonna they may be listening for to give somebody else information. Um, but I like the overview before the actual tactical. But then you tell me, I'm just thinking it out. They want to see what at the end the prescription is and what they'll pay for the prescription to make it make sense. Right. So this is needed too. The relief plan, an overview of that. Yeah, I gotta look at both. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at both at the same time right now, and it is a lot of, I mean, not the same information, but this is the deliverable, the actual clarity kit. I wish we could spend more time on that than the script.
So I think that what we should do is do this. Um, okay, so I think what we should do during the 15 minutes is do this. and then there's a 2 to 3. I think it's like a 3 to 5, three, or I will find out when Dr. Vicky comes in. But I think there's a 3 to 5 minute time where you could talk about your offer. So I say when we talk about our offer, we do the PowerPoint piece. So in
Hmm.
other words, when we present for the 15 minutes, I say we can go ahead and do this. We can even go to this type of thing for this. We can read, honestly. So we're not going to take a lot of time in regards to introductions. We're here when the child becomes the caregiver, the parents, you're going to leave today with building your own caregiver relief plan. Please, go ahead and drop this, and we'll drop this link into the chat. So just follow along with us. My name is Adriane Mays. I'm an AI wealth strategist, and I'm here with Adriane, and you'll introduce yourself. Go ahead, Sam.
And
I'm
my name
just
is Ayana. I'm sorry. My name
right,
is
and then
Ayana
let's talk.
Kilpatrick.
Let's just talk through it real quick and see if this makes so. Think what I see what I'm saying real quick. So if we can do this for the 15 minutes, we're just talking to them, just like in building a caregiver relief plan with them. We give them this link during the 15 minutes. Then at the end, when we recap, we bring in this. So we talked our work for 15 minutes in regards to a 15-minute interactive presentation where we talked about the dementia caregiving relief plan, and we went through the steps if an emergency happened. So we would just transfer back and forth, but we could still again read if an emergency happened, and different steps in regards to being ready, unsure, overwhelmed. And then we keep switching off between you, and then you'll read this one. We discussed two during our 15 minutes where love was never a problem. So yeah, that's a good idea. So we use this as the recap. We use the webinar as the recap, where it's showing the pictures of everything that we're showing visually. But for the 15 minutes, we do this. We do the actual plan with them. We drop the link in the chat because they can leave and walk away with something tangible. So that way they'll
Mhm.
know one way or another they're building a plan, and they can see what a plan looks like visually. That's what I think. So I think that's because when you come to a summit, you want to leave with something, right? If you think about it.
Right.
So
Yeah,
if I come and we have this on the screen, what we're talking about is our story, but we can talk that through for 15 minutes. What do you think?
I like that. I like that.
So let's just try it real quick because again we don't have to go in detail because we have the VIP, which we will go in detail. You see what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
we can just keep it time allocated to no more than a minute and a half for each one, but this is how you can have an interactive experience in regards to your presentations.
All right.
Ready? So let's try it. I'm, I'm forcing you into it. Let's try it because I just came up with it right now too. Let's try it. Let's see.
Okay.
Because I do like so. But what do you think for real though? What? But what do you think with that psychology? What I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. The coming back to this,
Hmm.
I like the script, the visuals though, but I do want to land here and make this like a focal of what you're taking, what you're developing from this. Um, so yeah, I like it. Let's run through. I mean, I'm with you on running through the script. Let's just walk it through. And then you're talking about the visual that we'll be sharing um, from the script, right? And then going to this, the same thing that I'm seeing.
Yes.
Okay. Uh,
So I was saying like I was trying to find it. Okay, so in other words, it's saying that during the summit, the final details, you'll have 15 minutes to present plus 5 minutes for questions. So what I'm saying is for our 15 minutes to present, we do this, right? This here, go through this for 15 minutes and we just get to and then when we do the 5 minutes for questions, we do this, which is just a recap
okay.
of what we did in regards to this. So that
Right.
way, so in other words, when we come in for our 5 minutes with questions, before we answer any questions, we can just go through real quick and have this visual of them tying into our presentation what we did with the tool during our 15 minutes. It's like a recap. That's what I was saying.
Recap. I like it. Okay. That was different. But yeah, I like that. The recap being the
Because we're not gonna be able to do both in 15 minutes. It's not even
Mm-mm.
possible. Like think about you're not gonna nobody was that's too much. Like in other words, in other words, we gotta do one or the other for that 15 minutes.
Hmm.
So either we're gonna do this or we're gonna do the tool. It's
The tool.
and the only reason I say the tool is because I mean, like you said, this does look AI, right? I agree with that. But I mean, since we are AI, um,
Right. Right.
and that we can make it clear. I mean, we that's what we are. That's what I am as an AI web strategist. So I'm okay with that part. But
Okay.
it could be a we can change it to like we can edit it if if that's a serious point for us. But
And
but the key
it's
thing.
lighter. It's
Hmm?
lighter on the spirit. I mean, when you go to a summit, yeah, you want to, you know, do the tool part, I think, but it should that I think we should have it the second part. And you were thinking the other way, right?
So you want to, so whatever. I mean, I definitely. I mean, it's funny. So that's definitely perception. So how do you? So well, we can't do both of them. So we got to pick one though, because
Yeah.
that's too much. Like think about that's what I was saying. I was like, we got to pick one, and then we could recap with the other. So we can even do this one for the 15 minutes, and then recap with this, because like you said, that is a lot, and it's a lot. Like you're saying, so I can agree. I can roll with that too because it is. This is a lot too. Like this is a lot of reading, and anybody that comes, ain't nobody reading all of this. So
Right.
I mean, it's the truth. So we could actually, but that's why my thought was just to have it there on the screen will be, because we know nobody's gonna read all of that. But we can do it this way as well. Where this here is a simpler, simple, softer way that people can understand the story. And then we can come in with the 5 minutes with the boom shakalaka. I'm down with that as well. I'm an easy sales hands because both ways
I
work
would like
for
to
real.
do it like that.
Okay.
Let's give them the story first of why they even need this tool. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, let's do it. So let's try this too. And then we can still, so it's 10 slides. And so what we're gonna do is just like you said, let's talk through. I mean, let's try to talk through it because look, you see how it's like. Okay, so I'll do this slide, and then I'll roll into this slide, and then you do this slide because that's the kind of story.
Hmm.
Then so even if you want to use the script part, that's cool as well. And then I think that this is your roadmap, so that goes into your crisis management plan. And then that's isn't it my turn as well? So let's try it. Let's try it with the
Okay.
script. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna try to ad lib mine just because of how long I just saw when I read that first time, how long that was. That was too long. So I'm gonna try to ad lib my part. Just
Okay.
like all that extra BS. I'm not about to be.
Hmm.
So okay. So I got the timer on. Mm,
So good.
I mean, when I get cold with the Zoom, woo, Nelly, I'm about to
It's over.
girl, huh?
It's gonna be over when you.
Oh my gosh, because Zoom has been my pain point for me. So me to be open to this is because I've avoided Zoom and I don't know why. It's just stupid. I'm just mad at myself now, but whatever. I'm all in now. I got to figure it out. I can't do it. So it's like because you can do Zoom is where everybody is. I've tried to get people. I've done programs try to get people onto other programs. You got to go where the people are. Zoom people are on, so you got to learn it. So that's where I'm at
And
finally with this.
I've been paying that doggone subscription. I had my first Zoom yesterday in probably 5 or 6 months, maybe 7.
It's crazy though because you got it's. I tried to do Google Meet. I've used ways around. I tried to get around Zoom. You have to use Zoom because and then now, and the reason why I invested in Zoom, honestly, now, and I'm gonna tell everybody the reason why too, because and this, so this is the game changer. Zoom has where they do notes right after you finish the presentation. So it's not
Right.
even about recording everything. It's about it captures the whole meeting, breaks it down into chapters, and then organizes it into notes. And so that's the part for me that was like, oh, and emails it to you. So therefore,
Mm.
even if I don't, so what happens is, I want to break down notes and stuff like when I'm tired after lives and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. It started literally just breaking down the whole notes and everything. But I was like, oh my God, that's so. When I saw that factor, and that was another reason I started doing the Bible study. So what I wanted to see was if the Bible, so how it broke down when you read those parts of the Bible. I wanted to see how the AI was going to explain it to me. So
Okay.
it we record it. So because it does it
Hmm.
automatically. And I was because it breaks into layman terms, girl. I'm using AI. I'm testing all kinds of stuff. People don't understand my crazy. Okay.
Well, let's read through before Dr. Dick can get on.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. Okay, you ready?
Oh no.
Hmm.
Okay.
You ready?
Hmm.
Okay. Let's do 16. Is that what I can just this? When the child becomes the parent, a 15-minute interactive session to build your dementia caregiving relief plan. This prescription for relief summit. Welcome, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on introductions. We're going to jump right into building something, a caregiver dementia relief plan, where you can actually print it and get started tonight. Because here's the question: if an emergency happened tonight, would you know what to do, who to call, or where even your important papers are? I want this to be an interactive opportunity here today. So write in the chat for me if you would be ready, or okay, I see that you have a couple of people that be ready, or even unsure. That's what we're talking about here today is having some type of plan because you never know that what will happen in different situations. So this plan is about your person. So when we continuously talk, so I guess somehow we got to introduce ourselves or no? I guess not. What do you think? Let's keep
Yeah,
going.
we should say who we are at the beginning.
Okay, let's
Distinguish,
go.
you're Adrian, I'm Ayana.
Right, you just jumping in, just start talking. Okay, let me go. Let's go back. I agree with that. So on the first slide, let's introduce ourselves. Maybe. Like, how long I got? Okay, so 8:30. She's jumping. I thought her 8:30. So just so that you know,
Okay.
because I already knew I was already off, so I was making sure everybody
Hmm.
was off. Let's go back. Like this thing is okay. There we go. There we go. That's how I have to do it. I'm gonna have it down, packed hands. Okay, you ready?
Hmm.
When the child becomes a parent, a 15 interactive session to build your dementia caregiving relief plan before the next crisis finds you unprepared. My name is Adrienne Mays. I'm an AI wealth strategist.
Hi, I'm Ayana Kilpatrick, and I am a caregiver advocate, specialist, strategist.
Who are
Oh, bro,
you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Who are you and what do you do? So
What's your name, girl? What you doing?
that's what. So so what is your title? What have you defined yourself to be?
A
Okay.
caregiver strategist. But what's a
Are
I
you
either
only
want
going
to
to work with, so are you only going to work with caregivers? Is that the only lane you're going to stay in?
no, I mean that's my lane right now. And um I mean, yeah, that's I don't want to
A caregiver
be too
specialist?
broad. Huh?
So are you a wealth strategist or you want to roll with a caregiver specialist or what did you say? Like what did you say?
Caregivers uh caregiving strategist or caregiver um
Caregiver strategist.
yeah.
So a caregiver strategist will be defined as a person that would give plans for caregiving. Is that what you want to do?
No, you know what I want to do. So that's what I'm trying to think it out. What's the right terminology? And a lot of things I see now are uh, strategists or I don't know. Um,
So
everybody's a con.
I mean, as a wealth strategist, what that means, that's the title that I could see. That's more as a updated business consultant. Let me just say it like that. But you know what I'm saying? So in other words, you having strategies for wealth. So with the kid, and you specialize in caregiving. Like in the and so you can specialize in different things. So you're not gonna just do caregiving. That's not gonna be your only lane. But I mean, as your
Right,
title,
right.
having being a dementia caregiving specialist is not a bad title. Like that's not bad for I mean for this webinar situation. So however which way, just
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? You can be whoever you want to be. That's what I love about this space. I love because look, I like being an AI wealth strategist because that makes sense. And that in regards to it's just really I'm helping people with strategies and to create wealth with those strategies. So it's simple and easy and clean.
Okay.
So, but whatever, however, which way you got to introduce yourself and say it. So, okay. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. When the child becomes the parent, a 15-minute interactive session to build your dementia caregiving relief plan before the next crisis finds you unprepared. My name is Adriane Mays. I'm an AI wealth strategist, and I'm here with Ayana Kilpatrick.
Hi, my name is Ayana Kilpatrick. I am an Alzheimer's caregiver strategist
And and together we're going
specialist.
to talk about you. And what you say you was an Alzheimer caregiving specialist?
Specialist.
I thought that's right. So, so you let's put dementia on there. Somehow, yeah, Alzheimer caregiving specialist. I know that's the right thing. Right, man. Okay. So if an
I'm
I
gonna
had to
come
write
up
that
with a
down.
good one. Don't write that down. I'm gonna come up with a good one.
Okay. You want to start over or we good? You want to keep going?
We're gonna keep going.
So if an emergency happened tonight, let's and how do you want to do the slides? Do you want to just kind of go back and forth with reading
Yeah.
different sections?
Can
Or you
you
want to
can
do
you
the whole
manage that?
slide?
I like when that one popped up. Can you manage that? Going back and forth?
I think so. So like, we just if I do the title, you do the second part, that type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think I can handle that. Let's just start off. That way we can halfway. So let's just try to do it now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When the child becomes the parent, a 15-minute interactive session to build your dementia caregiving relief plan before the next crisis finds you unprepared. My name is Adrienne Mays. I'm an AI wealth strategist.
And my name is Ayana Kilpatrick. I am an Alzheimer's caregiver specialist.
And if an emergency happened tonight, we're going to talk about here today, would your family know what to do, who to call, or where the important papers are? That's what I'm saying. So right then you would like, okay, so would go ahead for me. Would you be ready? You got a plan in place, unsure, or do you want me to do the whole slide? You think?
Oh, that was okay. I forgot we were going back and forth. Would
Uh,
your family know what to do, who to call, where the important papers are? If you had an emergency tonight, would you be ready, unsure, overwhelmed? Let's take a look at our tool and see.
So, but the great thing is, so
Oh
in
no.
having, so in that, it's so the tool part. So, since we won't bring up the tool, what we'll do if you read that part, I'll have them engage in the chat, or we'll have them engage in the chat with it.
Okay.
You
Okay,
see what I'm
right.
saying? So,
Uh-huh.
so I'll start the slide over again. So, if an emergency happened tonight, and then go ahead, Sans.
Would your family know what to do, where the important papers are? Are you ready, unsure, or overwhelmed?
Let's just
Type
take
it
a
in the
moment.
chat for us.
Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead again. Go ahead.
Go,
We got to get that
go
part
ahead and
down.
type it in the
We
chat
gotta we
for us.
gotta figure this out.
Right. Okay.
We gotta get our timing down.
Yeah. So um you're doing the introduction, and then after the introduction, um it went back to you for
Don't look at the script, just look at the slides, because it's gonna make it
Okay.
easier.
Okay.
So in other words, so let's look at this game plan this. Let's just do this smart. Let's pause this. Because that's why it's getting, unconfusing. So if you look at the slides, right? For slide one, all I did was read the first slide, and then my name is Adriane Mays, and then introduce your name, and then it goes right to the second slide. So for the second slide, I can read the title, and then you can read this part. Would your family know what to do, who to call, where the important papers are, ready, unsure, overwhelmed? You read that part, then I'll come back in and say, okay, go ahead for me in the chat. The companion tool will be the chat, and that's how we'll just play it like that for now. But then
Okay.
when we do our recap, we'll show them an actual tool.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then so for the next slide, this is your story. So you would take this slide. So in other words, you would just read. Love was never the problem. Medications, meals, doctor visits, behavior that changed week to week, struggle. So but they'll be able to hear more about your story in the VIP when they invest in it.
Cognitive decline.
Right. Okay. I go right to reading that
Right.
after. Okay. Okay.
That would be yours. So in other words, you give the emotion in this because this is your story. So you take no more than a minute and a half on that one. And then this
Okay.
is your solution to that caregiver
Mm-hmm.
plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a clarity kit, yes.
Okay. So this is kind of the why. And then that will
Without
be hmm?
No, I was just getting in my head with this some key things off of there that I'm gonna say. Yep. Okay.
So caregiving without a plan. So that would be so if you tell your story on this one, right? If you tell your story on this one, I can come and do this one because I'm looking at it. Caregiving without a plan is like driving without through an unfamiliar city in a storm with no GPS. So you can love the person in the passenger seat. So yes, I can do. So I can do this slide,
Okay.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we come in with your framework on the next slide. So the care plan. This is your framework, and so your 4-part map create the daily rhythm. So that's the guardrails for the wake up, the medications, the meals, the movement.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be your slide, right? And you
Okay.
literally just have to read. That's
Okay.
and then for this slide here, this will be my slide because this is when you bring in the financial piece. And I'm gonna do the same in reading. So you see
Okay.
the flow of it. So in
Mm-hmm.
other words, when I take a slide, in other words, if I take a slide, then you engage in the chat for me, and if you take a slide, I engage the people in the chat for you.
Okay. Okay.
That way it makes it simple and easy. I think that's so this one is and so they'll be building, but we'll have them build within the chat instead of building within the tool.
Okay.
But then we'll show them in the 5 minutes, like you said. See how we took that through? Great job. Okay, that makes more sense. Because
Mm-hmm.
you got to bring me back sometimes because I have an engineering mindset. So my engineering sees number. I mean, I got to remember that keep it simple, and that's people who need to see simple. They don't
Yeah.
need to see a lot until you take them to those to raise their hand for a lot. So,
Right. Right.
and, okay,
Perfect.
okay. So let's go with it. So we got it now.
We do.
Okay. When the child becomes the parent, a 15-minute interactive session to build your dementia caregiving relief plan before the next crisis finds you unprepared. My name is Adriane Mays. I'm an AI wealth strategist.
And my name is Ayana Kilpatrick. I am an Alzheimer's caregiver specialist.
Amazing.
And
And so we're going to actually talk about if an emergency happened tonight.
would you and your family be ready? Know what to do or who to call? Where those important papers are? Do you feel that you're ready, unsure, or overwhelmed at this point?
Now, ready means you've got a plan in place. See in the chat. If you think that you're ready, put ready. So we're going to go ahead and build this together. Unsure, you're not quite there yet, or even overwhelmed, you're in the right room. Again, go ahead. Let me see. Let me see the interaction of what level you are in the chat. Let's just take a moment and see what happens. What do you think? And then you will just get some engagement. Okay, awesome. So let's just go a little deeper while we actually see that.
Okay. So let me just start by saying love is never the problem when you're caring for your loved one. I spent nearly 13 years caring for my aging parents, and most of what I learned one crisis at a time. During that process, we developed, you have your medications, your meals, your doctor visits, behaviors that change week to week, recovering from illnesses, stroke activity, family who means very well, not able to show up. So at the end of it all, you're feeling exhausted. We want to figure out how to do that with a plan. And so, with that in mind, you want to stay tuned and listen. Okay, monitor knowing um, the different things, even when they're asleep. I was still responsible. And so, let me assist you in making that process just a little easier for yourself.
But here's the great thing though, but because what's about to happen just in the next few minutes or so is understanding exactly what you said, Adriana. You said you've been doing this over the last 13 years, but what is needed is what it's just like driving without a map. What is caregiving without a plan? And driving is like, we're from Detroit, Michigan, what up though? But if we were down in Atlanta, Georgia, and we did unfamiliar of a city without a GPS, that could be the love person. And that's why this is so important in regards to having a plan. So the goal isn't to be able to predict every crisis, because over the 13 years, was everything predictable? Yeah.
Absolutely not. You want to have a care plan. You want to have a map, a road map, a clarity kit that helps you move along in this process. So, first, that care plan will consist of creating the daily routine, you learning your patient, your loved one, when they wake up, what medications are needed, the diet, the meals that are going to be prepared for them that day, and chart those things out for the day. You aim for the known, because it won't be perfect. There are a lot of unknowns, but what we're doing here is aiming for what we know, um, is going to happen throughout the day. We also want to look, at the connection and the calm of the patient. You want to bring activities, that brings them peace, that brings them love. Um, but again, you never want to use moments like that as memory tests, because in a lot of cases, that's where they're struggling most. And so you just want to do very easy, fun activities during this time. That engagement and interaction is very good, for your patient, for your loved one. You also want to record, the decisions you've been avoiding, the decisions you know you need to make and solve. They're going to be along your journey. So it's best to prepare in the most, organized way possible. So when we say care plan, that E on the end, we want to establish a caregiver relief, program. So you are the caregiver, you've been anointed as that. You have to have a relief system. And so to take care of your patient, your loved one, you have to take care of yourself. That includes self care, rewarding yourself, uh, and actually loving yourself enough to put a care plan for yourself in place. It's the only way you're going to be able to care for your loved one.
And that's so huge in regards to having a plan because what's that takes it to the next piece as just honestly just being honest in these situations. If you just take a look at dementia in itself, it's just not just memory, it takes the pen. So there's a window while your loved one can clearly sign documentation, get things done, and have bill access, even just like you were saying, the simplicity of just having a plan. But when that window closes, families are in court, money is lost, guardianship, bills keep delaying, thousands in fees. This is what happens when things are not created within a plan. This is like a race against the legal clock. So take the 60-second check in your tool. Just find fit. So we have a tool that we built in regards to being able to find those different solutions quickly and to be able to be not have your legalities go against the clock. So being able to realize let me look at this. Hold on, I was all the time tired. I'm sorry. So what you are having and what we're talking about is having some type of system of the rhythm of the day. So just in this presentation, we named just having some type of plan, what brings you peace within that plan, and the decision you've been avoiding for that own relief. So, Ayana, you've mentioned some things about the daily rhythm of
Mhm.
medications and movement and bedtime. Do you have a situation or anything that would set out that's different for the daily rhythm? I think we should tell the story right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Let's
we,
get into
yeah,
that. So, depending on where you are in your journey with your loved one, you begin to learn routines. Routines are extremely important. As much as you can hold on to something repetitive, obviously your Alzheimer's or dementia patient will do better with routine. So you try to get them on a pattern with the medication where they're waking up. You know the medications that need to be administered in the morning. For us, it was wake up to medication, and then it was uh, the meal. She'd have her meal and then bathe. Sometimes those three things may get switched around. And I'm going to say that very clearly because as much as you want to plan it, some things just don't go according to plan. And so if you have two or three things that you know are going to happen in your morning, you have to be amenable to adjustments. And so, yes, those are the top three things on my list. But sometimes if I go in the room and your loved one needs to stool, then the stool in the shower becomes first, right? And so those three things you know are going to encompass your morning routine, and that established that routine every day. If she showered or cleaned at the top of the morning, you know she's ready um, for a meal after that. And so you get into that kind of routine where you're not, oh, we have to do this. It's a very easy system for you to adjust to, but you do want to make sure you're creating that daily rhythm. And it won't be perfect, but it'll be yours. You
so
also get
so
into
let's do this. I'm sorry to cut you off saying so. And let's put this here. So in other words, because we went through kind of quick to get here. So what I think if we look at the psychology of it, let's go. So here where we were doing this part, let's go back
uh-huh,
and tell a story in between here. This is I think we should spend most of our time here. So you see how we got 6 minutes left,
uh-huh.
and we're at the offer part, and we really don't need to actually even have the offer in our presentation. So I think we should go back and forth with this page.
Okay.
So in other words, so
Okay.
you were just saying this, so create the daily rhythm. You were saying it all on this page on the end, because that's at the end. So this is the end of
Oh yeah.
you see where it says what you built in 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So this is
Uh-huh.
the end of presentation. So we had 7 minutes still left.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to look for while you were talking, where would it be make more sense? So where we were doing this part, you just read through that quickly. So maybe we can go and just take this a little bit more slowly and tell a story within it. So for example, you read the C, create the daily rhythm, guardrails for the day, and then tell an example, like you were just saying, what you did in your own personal situation.
Okay.
And then so in other words, we go back and forth. For the A, add connection and calm. Pick two activities that bring your loved one peace. Never turn connection into a memory test. So, and for example, I would have for my aunt, she suffers from the early stages of dementia, and one of the things that would keep us connected were pictures. And so pictures were her way because she was one of the, in technology, so anyway, you see what I'm saying? So we tell a story right there. So we'll read the little card and then tell a story. Then you would do R, record the next decision. One decision you've been avoiding. You don't need to solve the journey, just the next right step. And one thing that was when I really saw that my mother actually had dementia, this would be your story, what you would say. When I really saw that it was when we were on the phone and it was just sounded different. So we want to relate with the people in the summit type thing. So she
Okay.
sounded different. I knew something was different. I mean, I asked her mom, was the doctor. So those little things that you have to pay for and record those decisions because those decisions it might be hard, but when you notice something, you have to write it down, right? Notice a behavior. So let's put our little personality in time, it looks like, into this slide.
Okay.
And then from there, when we get to this slide, we could talk about this
Yeah. You with that
instead of
money. I
just
like that.
right. And then so after that piece, it's the wrap up. You see? So now that so we can break instead of doing a minute and a half per slide, we just had to go through it because I had to see. And so because this part is at the end, we don't even need I have to see if we even need this part until the end.
Okay.
To the offer, you know what I'm saying? Remember I told you we'll do a 5 minute offer recap? So that
Hmm.
will be the 5 minute offer where we actually have the tool that they can
Oh
build the
yeah.
starter
Yeah.
package and they can
Hmm.
actually, because we have the tool built. So we have, they can build the starter package, they can have the VIP experience, but in 15 minutes that we can do all of that.
Right. Okay. And so we don't even have to deal with this until the 5 minutes.
Exactly. So that's not even a part of our 15.
Okay.
So
I'm with you.
same start, and same format. So we'll start with this. We'll go back and forth with that. Um, you'll tell your story. So I would say instead of reading this, I would tell your story.
Okay. Yeah. I like that better.
Then when we
Because it's
get here, um, we'll talk about the structure of the story, right? That would be me here.
right.
And then we'll get into us and then we'll just tell many stories here. Okay. So that we look like we know like so we have everything together.
Right.
Okay, I'm about to let Dr. Vicky in. Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Vicky, there she is. Hello,
Hello,
beautiful.
hello,
Hello, hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello, hello. Oh,
How are you?
been a day, but it's all good.
It's one of those lives that we signed up for, isn't it? That's all we can it's not even a day, it's the life that we signed up for. So
Or
gotta love
somebody
it.
signed up for us, cause
Yeah, you did. But I love him every day for it though, because I'm enjoying it. I'm just jumping all in. So we were just going through and wanted to kind of show you
okay.
the thought process. Is that, or did you want to have any insight before? And before, you're so beautiful.
No, I'm so beautiful. Oh
You
Lord, have
are.
mercy. I feel
I'm
like
just telling you what I
I have
see.
been hit by a truck. I've been on 3 broadcasts today. It's been work today. It's been, I
Ooh.
feel like my face is probably oily and it's just been,
Uh,
yeah.
no,
Oh, but it's all good.
You
I'm
look
just telling you
great.
what I see.
Oh, well,
You
thank
do.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Trying to get this summit together, boy. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
summits the work. They work.
Wow.
They work. They're a lot of work. A lot of work.
Would you do it
I
again?
can't
No.
I can't wait to get some of that knowledge from you soon.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, it is I think the thing that I'm a part of a lot of summits a lot of times. This isn't my first rodeo. I've done
Right.
this many, many times. And but when you are organizing a summit and you want it done right, it starts from the conception of the idea to building the framework and the story to understand how the story is going to be told, what that's going to look like, to what you want to ensure that everybody walks away with. Every piece of that puzzle to that framework is only the outline perspective. To get it done is all the supporting things that go with it. So I always say that's the picture, but now you got to put it in a frame. And so it doesn't help that I am Because I know what it looks like to be done right, I'm not going to take less than being done right. That doesn't help. Because when it's crooked, it's like, nope, that's not how we operate here. Back up. We're not doing that. And so I want to make sure that as everybody is putting out in their communities, come see me. If you're going to come see me, I want to make sure that who's ever coming to see you is going to get something from you. Otherwise,
Okay.
it's a waste of time.
Right.
So as I build my supporting stuff to go with it, the frame, everything from the funnel to the story to how am I going to take the information? What am I doing with the data? How am I going to leverage this afterwards? Because it's not just about the day of. It's about the day after and the day after and the day after and the day after. So when I'm having interviews, like I did with my ambassador, who's supporting my product and my service, and then he tells me today, my plans changed. I might have been able to come to do it. I said, you could still come speak. And he said, no, I took something else and took that spot. But the next one you have, I'll come speak for you. Okay, fine. But in talking to him and having a conversation as my ambassador and talking about the videos that's going to be played and how we're going to tell the story. And he was like, make sure you do this and make sure you do that. So that's a good point. I added that. Let me think about how I can do that, and also be cognizant that everybody in this audience, what they don't have is time. Caregivers don't have time. They just don't. So even though it's 10 to 1, my goal is to be walking out by 12:30. My goal. Because I know what it's like not to have time. Now, I've put moments in there where they can sit back and breathe. You know what? You're going to take 5 minutes because I'm giving you a gift. You're not going to do anything. You're going to breathe. I just want you to sit back, listen to the music, and breathe. That's all I want you to do. Because you deserve that. You've earned that, right? So building the story to really be impactful, because no matter what you say, the thing that gets people is emotions, not what you're giving. So you got to think about all of that when you're doing it. And so it's a lot of work if you do it right. Now, if I were going to a location, it would be even more. In terms of an event location and making sure that things were set up right, it takes a lot of work. And that's why a lot of people, when they do, virtual stuff, they'll charge you $47 and $97, and they say they do it to hold your seat. They're actually doing it to make sure that the audience is not empty. And that's a risk you take. I chose not to do it because I know my audience for caregivers ain't got no money anyway to ask them to spend $47 for 2.5 hours that they don't have to begin with. The audience will be completely empty. I know that. But if I'm going to constantly feed them through my social media and giving them something. So I just got through creating videos. I'm finishing up videos that I'm doing about each speaker. What each speaker is doing and how it fits to the story. It's a 90-second video. And I'm highlighting these speakers. And they're going to play all week next week because I'm whetting the appetite till Saturday comes. Right? That's work. That's money. That's time. So if you're going to do it right, it takes time. Don't rush it. You can rush and put crap together any day, but that ain't my brand. That ain't how I roll. And people know how I roll, and that ain't it. So I got a lot of people. I started getting these, because I can see who sends them. So I can tell whether you sent it or she sent it or somebody else. I can see who sends them. I can see where they're coming from. And I put it out on LinkedIn. But I had to tell the story differently because I'm a consultant and I have a business. And caregiving ain't my business. However, I I made a very integrated plan because I said, I started writing posts about the fact that these companies are not providing benefits and opportunity for their senior leaders, and those senior leaders are trying to care for mom at home, daddy at home. And now you want to know why they quitting and leaving. I help you understand. You have no benefits for them. You're not helping them. So I've been telling this story interweaving with all my consulting that I do so it doesn't look like an off brand. So when I said I'm doing a summit, it wasn't new to them that it was around caregiving. Not only did they know I built the app, and my app is out of character for the consulting I do as far as all the strategy and the planning and all the things I do. But it's not out of realm to say I got my hands dirty doing what I tell everybody else they need to do. So I'm not just coming to you with talk. I'm coming to you with actually doing, right? So I have to make sure I keep my story right. Otherwise, I throw my own brand off. Can't afford to do that. So
Right.
it's a lot of things you have to consider. So when I think about my audience, I'm thinking about my brand. I'm thinking about how it's fitting into the story. I'm thinking about what that looks like. So if you don't think this out very well, it will not serve you the way you need it to serve you. And I know that. And so that's why I'm anal about it. Because I've been through too many of these and I know how they can backfire on you too if you're not careful.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's been but as I was doing my interview with him and he's publishing it tomorrow. And we were getting
Wow.
it finished. And he's doing all my social media. I'm publishing it. And I'm trying to decide which video I'm playing next Saturday to put in it. And, during that time period to say, well, now let's transition to what peacefulcare.ai is all about. I have something I want to share with you. And I'm going to play the video so they can see the video and understand what's going on. But to find an influencer of a caliber of somebody who's run awards and writes documents and all this kind of stuff that is specifically in the senior caregiving space. That's what he does. This is his
Mm-hmm.
world. Rich white man. Got this and many other things he does. I don't need all that. I just need this right here.
Right.
And so getting all those assets and stuff that I get from him, but I found him. Justin didn't find him. Nobody gave him to me. I found him. I was out on LinkedIn doing my homework and I found him. And he responded. And then we started talking. And then I started sharing with him about my background. And I was like, oh, yeah, my mother was, we were talking about John F. Kennedy. And I said, oh, my mother was on John F. Kennedy's board. She was what? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, ML King and those came and had dinner at my house all the time. I went to school with his son because my mama was involved with the civil rights movement. She started the Albany movement, blah, 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 blah. And as I'm talking to him, he's sitting here like, you know, but you have to sometimes let people know the caliber where you're coming from so that when they work with you, they understand the caliber what you expect back. So but
Thank you. I love that.
it's a lot of work. It's a
Woo!
lot of
You are a big old wealth of not woo!
well,
I swear,
I've had a
between the
lot of
both of
knocks.
y'all always have me just jolting over here. Like, where have I been?
I have a lot of hard knocks. That's what I had.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell, but you have surely persevered and just blossomed and did your own in your own right. Wow, I'm happy to know you, girl.
Ah, so that's why but that's why I'm so anal because I really and I want people to walk away going, that was a different deal. I haven't been to something like this before. And I walk away with a different feeling. And then after the summit is over with, I got to get some freebies and things like that going out so I can keep the community. But I've been sending out, I probably get a list of 100 new potential customers a day. And I just continue to send them all the information so that they're learning. Now I'm starting to get questions back, which means and I told you all it takes 3 to 4 weeks. After about 3 weeks, I'm now starting to get questions back. Oh, well, can we have a call? I'd like to talk to you about so and so. Or, oh yeah, I saw that so and so is, that you're doing this at your summit. What a great idea. Never would have thought about that. Blah, blah, blah. So cultivating that trust with people that don't know you, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So this summit is going to be really small compared to the summit.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
a whet your appetite summit.
Okay.
The summit gonna be off the chain because it's
All
gonna be
right.
at a location.
Okay.
And I'll have my ambassador speak and all that kind of stuff when I do it at a location. But you got to crawl before you walk and walk before you run.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay being patient and taking time to do that.
Me too. All right. Okay.
Okay,
You wanna are you gonna hear our little 15 minutes
that's right. Let's
we trying to
go.
work down?
Come on, let's go. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
So
Because
I
I
want to
put
share.
y'all out there. You out there on the internet, honey. Not
Uh-oh.
informed now. You out
Are
there.
we out there? We
You
out
out
there.
there. You on press releases. I did a interview with somebody talking about this today. I mean, you out there now. So,
Okay. Let's
all right,
get it.
there we
So
go.
Dr. Vicky, we want to kind of give you, so we just talked it through as well. And so, Yana, you don't mind if we ask in regards to our thought process? Because I think the
No.
AK, right. So what we resolved on is to bring this for the 15 minutes. This is the actual webinar presentation. You know how you have a 15-minute webinar presentation and 5-minute recap. That's the layout, correct? Or you said you want to cut it. Is that still the layout, or
Oh
is
no,
that
it's still
still
layout. I'm cutting on
okay?
my side. Y'all have 20 minutes, 15 minutes to do and 5 minutes for questions or whatever you want to do. And if you want to use all the 20 minutes and no questions, that's up to you. But you got 20 minutes.
So we were going to say 15 minutes for this part of the presentation, and then like you received the text message. That's what you were talking about with the text message in regards to the follow-up. But that's our VIP piece, and so we can use that part for the 5 minutes. Does that make sense?
I think
Dr.
I
Vic?
understand what you're saying. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we'll just run through it loosely, and then
Okay.
that way we'll just make it from there.
Okay.
Okay. Do we want to do the timer, or we just want to just go ahead and do it?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Five, four, three, two, one.
When the child becomes a parent, a 15-minute interactive session to build your dementia caregiving relief plan before the next crisis finds you unprepared. My name is Adriane Mays, AI Wealth Strategist.
And I'm Ayana Kilpatrick, an Alzheimer's caregiver specialist.
And if an emergency happens tonight,
If an emergency happened tonight, would you and your family be prepared? Would you know what to do, where the important papers are, and who to call? Give us an answer in the chat. Are you ready for an emergency if it happened tonight? Are you unsure or are you overwhelmed? And just know you're in the right room.
and knowing you're in the right room, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the story and why we're here in regards to that. So, Ayana, do you mind sharing in regards to, you shared you are a caregiving specialist in regards to dementia. Let's go ahead and take
Okay,
that a little deeper. Mm-hmm.
sure. So I've been a caregiver to my aging parents for a little over 13 years now, and nominated for that position, and I stood in it very proud without a real plan. Loved my parents dearly, but as you see the signs of something being off, not quite right, not their normal behavior, I began to get concerned. Um, Dad had been living with me for a while, and then we ended up moving closer to mom, and I started to attend her doctor's visits, growing concerns there. And then you get the diagnosis. And then that's when things really kick in. Not knowing a lot about it, being directed to pamphlets, websites, a lot of new jargon, new terminology to learn, just learning how to exist. So it's a long road. It's obstacles. It's different every day. I thought during the process to be a lot. It was a bit much, overwhelming. And so I just want to help others in that process who's going along that journey. Have a clarity kit that might help you blossom and bloom in that process. And so we're going to talk about that a little more, but we absolutely have to learn um, how to deal with and how to thrive through the caregiver experience, because most of what I learned was learning one crisis at a time, and we want to try to prevent that and have
The
a
great
plan.
thing is about in that prevention, if it stands out, what I've heard is it's needing some type. Love was never the problem. That was never the issue. It was more so having some type of direction, that needing to have an A plus a B. For example, having some type of GPS system. Being in Detroit, Michigan, what up though, and maybe even you're in Atlanta, Georgia. Just think about caregiving in that same message with no GPS. So what you it sounds like, and what we're describing here today is having some type of plan. I mean, what can happen without a plan is being reactive and being in crisis mode or being in confused. But what we're going to show you here today is with the plan to have that calmness and having a way to have documentation and things in order. Because again, the goal isn't here today to understand and predict every crisis. It's literally to understand and have a roadmap if something was to happen. So if that does make sense to me, let me have a one in the chat in regards to just understanding a plan is better than not having any plan at all. So going a little bit deeper into that, Ayana, can you go into what that care roadmap looks like for the 4-part
Yes,
map?
absolutely. So we talk about a care plan, having that caregiver clarity kit on hand on your refrigerator if necessary, but you have to have a care plan in order to get through the journey with peace and knowledge and comfort. So you create a daily rhythm. You start that way. For us, it was determining pretty much three specific things that would happen in the morning. Her medication, you administer your loved one's medication. You're going to have their first meal, and they're also going to do a bathing routine. And so if you already have those three things planned out, there's a rhythm of sorts that you create. And it's so helpful and comforting knowing that that has been established for you. So on a particular day, we would have wake up and she's in a great mood. We'd have breakfast first, um, medication, and then we do the bathing. Sometimes she'll awake, or your loved one will awaken, and their mood might not be so great. So you would temper that medication, maybe a meal, and then go to bathing again. Now, sometimes she may wake up, and you may have to immediately do a bathing routine because of, overnight or whatever may have happened. But if you have a plan that you're knowing what the routine will be each day, it will help in tremendous ways for peace and clarity for the rest of the day. And then we'll go
Understandable.
into talking
Go
about
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yep, the
I
next one is
forgot
the
we were going to go
A.
back and forth. Yes.
Right. Yep. So the next one being the A, to add connection and calm. Picking two activities that bring your loved one peace. Never turning connection into a memory test. I know we talked a lot about too, Adriane, just in regards to in my situation with dementia. Just well, my aunt, she loved photo albums and pictures. So when the memory started to slowly decline, I can remember just being able to take our first trip to Canada, being in that red Toyota Celica. It was so amazing. And so that connection in the red Toyota Celica, just those stories is what related us. And so as her mind continuously goes, even today, just knowing just a month ago, her celebrating her 80th birthday, that connection, I could just post that Celica. Maybe it'll trigger it, maybe not. But the key thing is having that roadmap for the receiver of the person that's also, she's the patient, but just having having that connection and a calm of peace to have a solution to those different things when they go slowly for help. What do you have to say about recording the next decision
And
now?
so that's when we move into the R and recording. You definitely want to record, and it could be decisions, your next decision, but it also needs to be a record of the doctor visits and the medications, and we can help you kind of put those things in order where it'll leave you with more time and more energy to concentrate on other things. One thing specifically important for me was uh, making decisions that you want to put off because you're dealing with the right now, whether it's um, do we move to hospice now or do we keep trying these methods? But in order to move forward and in a calm and collective and prepared way, you do need to make those decisions head on. And we're going to encourage you and show you some of the right steps to do that.
Which brings us to the E, establishing the caregiver relief. And the reason that we're here, if you don't put your oxygen mask on first, self-care, it's not a reward, it's mandatory for caregiving. It is the caregiving plan. Because again, when we get into the financial piece of that, just realizing if you can't breathe, it brings everything together in a whole totality. Think of it, for example, if you're the same example, a dementia person loses and doesn't have a GPS or a roadmap, and they're angry one day, and your emotions aren't taken care of. If you don't have something to fall back on in regards to a firm solution and a foundation of a plan, any plan can be broken, but you can have some type of foundational setup, and that's what we're here to provide for you. Let me actually have to make sure that we're still with you. Let me have drop care in the actual chat for me, if that makes sense for you in relating to having some type of four-part map as we go into the legalities of it. And learning that the legal clock dementia takes the pen. So we've talked a lot about maybe just having a roadmap, but there's still a window that your loved one can clearly make decisions, clearly have those conversations, even and make decisions, power of attorneys, bill access, benefits, insurance. These are the factors that are open, and we take those factors for granted. I know, for example, in my own personal case, my father passed at 69, and being in insurance, making that knowing that bills and things like that. He did not have dementia. He had cancer when he passed. But the key thing is having all of the paperwork in order. When that window closed, when he wasn't, it was maybe a 6-month window, and my mother had to make those decisions of whether to put him in hospice or not. It was one of those things that she didn't have her power of attorney and paperwork and documentation. That seeing the impact of not having it done versus having it done, that's why the financial piece is so important for dementia families, and in knowing that when that window closes, the government doesn't care. The insurance companies don't care if you what you thought you were going to do. So thousands of dollars could be a down if your beneficiaries are not in order, if your insurance plans are not thought through, if you don't do the reviews that are needed. So money doesn't go until no one thinks about a plan until a plan is lost. So healthcare is something that has to be in your solution, because that is the one thing that you can't get back is your health and your wealth. So thousands, I've seen it. People lose homes, lose their whole everything because they don't have some type of plan in place. And with this tool and the different things that are put in place with the summit, you are able to provide those solutions for these dementia care solutions. Does that make sense to how what we kind of discussed here in the last 15 minutes? Deanna, do you agree in regards to the different things that we discussed here? Do you have any
I
scenarios?
definitely do agree. And within these last 15 minutes, you could have already developed a plan for you and your family. It's very simple, it's very easy. Again, we talk about those daily rhythms, making things very rhythmic for your loved one. Uh, Studies shown repetitiveness, the rhythm of a schedule helps with their clarity, their peace, their calm. So you do want to activate and use a daily rhythm in your process. We also talk about calming activities. Adriane spoke to the photographs that she and her aunt would look at photographs is a big part of caregiving. You always can lean and fall back on that activity as a point of soothing moments for your patient. But then you find too what your loved one actually likes and loves to do. You definitely want to, for my mom, it was music. So we relied heavily on music to soothe her spirits, to awaken her spirit. And you just really need to think about it as you're making your clarity list and put those things that you know will impact her in great ways, him or her. You definitely want to be head on with decision making. Go ahead and put it in the chat. What are these representing for you? What's a challenge here? The activities, the rhythm, hitting a decision head on, or the money situation? Does the financial uncertainties help you? Whatever it is, let's see it in the chat and let us show you how to get some clarity over any issues that you're having in your caregiving experience.
But the crazy thing is too, though, Ayana, is talking about choices because we talk about how caregiving and tools and prescriptions but the key thing is not having to be able to have to worry about doing that alone. So within that, there's tools, there's methods, there's experiences, there's different ways on how you can get from A to B. But now, thankfully, in 2026, with AI and technologies and things like this, clarity in regards to experience comes along and partner with technology. So we've talked a lot about how you can build with families today, and you can keep going alone, right? We've talked about some different things in the chat that you can drop in, different tools, even using, like you mentioned as well, music. But the key thing is taking it a step further sometimes because you don't want to build alone. Like building alone is sometimes, as just being in the caregiving field, just us both being in our own different experience. I honestly, if I could just take a moment and be honest, when you think about the change that happens when health changes and not having some type of plan and foundation in place that you can land, that's honestly what the reason in that we're here today. Like we went through the structural process of it, but having both of us who have been through personal situations of dementia in our families and how to respond to those. Me having over 15 years of experience dealing with different families that have needed long-term care, have needed insurance, needed not done the things in regards to planning what can and cannot happen. The reason we're here today is to provide some of those solutions. Now, hopefully in those 15 minutes that we did discuss these different things that you were able to gravitate to some of those things that may have related. But the next step is to actually have the caregiver experience, the clarity experience that kind of goes deeper, where we have tools that will help you step by step to live you into those and answer those questions. So that clarity experience is what we created with the 90-minute caregiver clarity experience, having that rhythm and being able to have that team to help us with each aspect that we talked here today. So, Dan, can you read this really quickly while I plug my computer up so I don't die on everyone?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We spoke about it earlier, the daily care routine and the importance of it. We talk about the comfort and connection, those calming activities. We have a toolbox that you can utilize for suggestions, for impact, how it may or may not impact your loved one. Um, what we see as some protocol activities for getting rest for both you, your as the caregiver, and your patient, your loved one. And then we talk about having in place a support role for folks around you. Any family members that you can involve. Those roles are going to be very important to support you and your loved one during this time. Um, and then we talk about the money, the legal clock, the benefits, the scams that come along when you're caregiving. A lot of times you're searching for answers, but we want to help curtail some of those by providing you some sure ways to get the information you're looking for without a lot of unwelcomed activity. And so those four things we're really going to concentrate on. But again, you help build this caregiver clarity kit for your experience, and we believe that it will help you in ways that you can only be thankful for. As we all know, um, the experience is gonna be and has been told to you overwhelming. But with this clarity kit, it will definitely bring you some sense of calm, peace, and clarity.
And so from there, Dr. Vicky, can we stop there?
Yes, we can stop.
Okay.
So
And so from there, I was trying to feel because I was going to show the tool, but I didn't know how to. That's what we were
when
kind
you're
of.
trying to show what tool, which tool, the tool for the experience,
Yes.
is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay.
Yes.
I want to back up. I want to back
Okay.
and if you and know this is out of love, but I want to give you some feedback.
Okay.
Um, it's disjointed. And here's what I mean by that. Um, when my mom had dementia as well. And when you're going through this crisis or even planning for the crisis of dementia, um, it is it's the ups and downs of today I'm in a good mood, tomorrow I'm not, this hour I know who you are, in the next 30 minutes I don't. It can go through the physical. I was hit. I was hit by my parents. I was cussed out. I was fussed at. That's real talk. That's
Mm-hmm.
the real stuff that happens. We're not
Yes.
talking real stuff here. So I want
Mm.
this to
Okay.
focus on real
Yeah,
dementia,
I agree. I agree with that.
not
Right.
tools, not because at the end of the day, I house all those tools. I have a caregiving journey. I have medicines. I have timers. I have things to do that. That's not where the expertise you're bringing. Can I share my screen for a second? I want to show something to you. Screen two. So, um, I'm going to share something with you that's kind of like when you start to talk about the crisis. Your toolkit is the dementia readiness plan, not a care plan. I have care plans inside of mine of what you're developing, but you're getting a dementia readiness plan together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a guided experience, and dementia readiness is not having every answer. It's about understanding where you have to go. So when you deal with dementia, you're dealing with a whole new different avenue. We didn't talk about safety. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
talk about how to keep your loved ones safe when they got dementia. We didn't talk about the moods, the
Yeah.
conversations, the the challenges that happen. Now, the piece I liked that you did a really good job on is your D of decisions. And Adrian, you did a phenomenal job of talking about the decisions and relating it to dementia. But we need to stay focused. It's too disjointed. We need more focus and clarity. So, what caused you to be concerned? You started talking about this, and I thought you were going to go down this avenue. When we're dealing with parents and we're the child and we don't know exactly what's going on, Adrian, you started down this path a little bit. We go and we go to the doctor, and that one day you get that diagnosis, and you're like, "Oh my goodness!" They say, "Yeah, they got dementia." Okay, what does that mean? It means you got to get prepared. Well, what am I getting prepared for? Well, sometimes they're going to remember, sometimes they're not. They might get angry because they're frustrated. They can't do all the things they used to do. They might, they may know you today and not know you tomorrow. They may start talking in their own world. I'm talking about stuff that happened 15 years ago because that's where I'm comfortable. And I need you to get in their world because they can't get in your world. So, how do you get in their world? We start to talk about how we have conversations with them. When my mother used to talk, when my aunt has it right now, she's living, and her husband died 9 years ago. And she goes, "Oh, Bob's at work." And I said, "Yeah, Bob is at work. He working hard, isn't he?" Yep, he working hard. I said, "I know." And when he comes in, Gene, what's going to happen when he comes? Girl, when he comes home from work, I'll go in the kitchen and I'll go and have dinner ready. Woman can't cook, can't stand, can't do nothing. And I'm sitting and going, "You know what, Gene? That's going to be a good meal." I said, "What we going to have for dinner tonight?" I said, "I have to come and set me a place up. I'm going to come set my plate up and we're going to have dinner together." Teaching them how to come with levity, teaching them how to come with conversations, teaching them how to come with, okay, let's go to the other side. Mama, who are you? I don't know you. The emotion that you feel of I'm taking care of them. I've spent all my money and now they don't even know who I am. How do I deal with that? What do I do? You process it, understanding you're not talking to them. That's not them at that moment. That is a shell that looks like them, but that's not them. That's why we can't take it personally. And you know what you need to do when those moments happen? Go play your music to calm down. Go do it go meditate. Take 5 minutes to go meditate. You have permission to take 5 minutes to walk away and just go meditate. You earned that. But recognizing that that's their world at that moment, right? The things that come along with that woman in that mirror trying to kill me, and all you trying to do is brush their hair, but you're trying to hurt me. You out here to get me. Those are the real conversations around dementia. When we start to talk about where are we in this journey, you at the beginning of dementia, or have you been in it for a while? And have you started to develop the fact that it's truly moving from dementia to Alzheimer's? Because they're two separate things. Do we even understand the difference?
Alzheimer's is first.
Well, actually, it's not. Historically, it's not. What happens is that dementia is the forgetness of where you are. Alzheimer's is a disease, and I'm all infected. I don't have anything at this moment.
You have so dementia is a type of Alzheimer's.
Correct. That is correct. It is
So,
a type of Alzheimer's, but full-time Alzheimer's comes after dementia. You're absolutely,
right,
but that's correct. But see, people
right.
don't understand that because they'll think that you have Alzheimer's at the very beginning and you don't. You
Right.
have the symptom
Okay. Yeah.
of dementia, which is a
Right.
part of Alzheimer's.
Right.
And that's how they diagnosed my mother, though, with
What?
Alzheimer's first.
Yeah, uh-huh. And the
But my
Alzheimer's,
dad,
so
it was dementia. So it does, I mean, I see it could go
so
either
what I'm
way.
saying to you is, and you know why? Because your mom had the worst case at the very beginning. She didn't grow to it.
Right.
Dementia, you grow from dementia to Alzheimer's. When
Yeah.
you start in the Alzheimer's, you're full-fledged at the very beginning. You skipped dementia. You went straight
Right.
to Alzheimer's. But that's
Yeah.
what you need to talk about. People don't understand that. We're
Hmm.
sitting here having this conversation and went through it. But dementia is a function of Alzheimer's. When they come to you and say they have Alzheimer's, they bypass dementia. They already gone.
Right.
They're on the other
Right.
side. But when I say I have dementia, it means that I'm in that road. It's a part of Alzheimer's. I just haven't gotten all the way there yet. Now, my mother had dementia. Thank God, never got to Alzheimer's. My aunt has Alzheimer's. And boy, does she have it. She went all the way to the other end, right? But helping them see the signs. So if you have dementia and you're going towards Alzheimer's, Ayana, what do I look for?
Hmm.
That's the expertise you have. They need to hear.
Hmm.
They don't know that. It's
Right.
not about the papers. It's about that.
I'm
How do
so
I?
glad we had this conversation, Dr. Vicky, because that is my experience. Those helpless days where I had to learn to
That's my
stop
point.
saying certain things, to go along, to play whatever she was talking about, go along with that, to sit on her floor just totally exhausted because she just bit the shit out of me, or she,
Right,
is those
right.
types of experience that I have actually gone through where I
That's what
wish.
that is it. That's who you are. That's what I've been trying to say. You are the dementia. I promoted you as a dementia expert.
Okay,
Let me show you your slide I did.
okay, okay.
Okay. Because that's what I'm talking about.
I'm
You are
talking about from her
this.
having a stroke, being in that hospital, thinking
Yes,
my mom was gone, to her coming back, being able to go through physical therapy, but never really gaining her true self back.
that's right.
I watched her die. I mean, just that whole grieving process was so hard. But okay, I'm definitely, oh, oh yeah.
And that's what this is about. It is about the fact
Oh, I
that
saw my picture up there. Okay,
I know because I've been promoting your picture. Anyway,
okay.
I told y'all you out there on the internet. Um, but these are the things that I'm sharing with you right here. Talking about the gaps, talking about what's happening. Is there an immediate safety issue? So you got this parent, you come home, you find out they got dementia or Alzheimer's. What are you doing for the safety around your household?
Right, right.
Because they'll go in and pull. I had a girlfriend of mine, her mama would go in the room and pull out all her clothes and leave them on the floor.
Mm.
And she would just pull them out. And she said, "It's time for us to wash clothes. We ain't wash clothes. We need to go get washed clothes." And she would say, "Okay, mama." She said, "I'm gonna take these in the basket and I'm gonna go wash the clothes." And she would put them in a closet or whatever. And she'd come back. She said, "Okay, mama, we washed the clothes." She would say, "Why did you take all those clothes out and think you were going to wash them? You are just trying to ruin my clothes. Why did you
Mm.
do that? You should have not done that. You took everything out and you're taking advantage of me and you're trying to take these clothes away from me. Why did you do that?" And she freaked out. And then 10 minutes later, she's sitting there folding clothes. Her mama comes back and starts folding clothes like nothing happened. 30 minutes later, after that, she throwing the clothes. We gotta go wash clothes again. What do you do? How do you deal with that cycle? How do you change it around?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, okay, we're gonna go from clothes. Now let's go change the subject. We're not gonna go
Mm-hmm.
deal with clothes today, right? So, yeah, mama,
Mm-hmm.
I understand. You're right. I took the clothes to wash them. I thought I was helping. Let's go over here and do this. So, how do you divert them? How do you get them to do something different? Those are
That's,
practical tips that these
yes,
people want to hear.
yes.
That is the irony of a real prescription. That's helping
Okay.
me feel better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the medical clarity check, things that you're talking about with the doctor, right? Understanding. Has the medical team considered other conditions that cause confusion or cognitive changes, or are they automatically telling you dementia and Alzheimer's? They don't know what they're talking about. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Make sure you have a clear diagnosis for sure.
Right. Do you know what changes or symptoms should lead to an urgent medical? So how do I go from dementia or Alzheimer's and now it's a medical emergency issue? It's not just their symptom of behavior. These are the things that the questions to ask them about the symptoms and the medical. That's part of your framework. So if you call it care, it's something for where you're dealing with the doctor. I'll send you all this. You ain't got to try to copy it all down. I'll send it to you.
Oh, great.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you, Adrian.
Thank
But the
you.
deal is,
So,
then you
so
go
Dr.
in.
Vicky, if I'm hearing you right, so does it sound like to me like if we go through and tell the emotional relationship of each step, is that not accurate? And then
That's right.
I think that's where we're headed. Yes. Just
yeah,
pulling the emotional and the real
But you
life
got to do it
experience
from the
behind it.
dementia lens because I wrote down there were several things and you never mentioned dementia. You mentioned papers, you mentioned medicine, you mentioned going to,
Mm.
there was nothing in there that said dementia. Nothing. I could have been any caregiver.
right.
You've
Mm.
got to
Okay.
distinguish yourself separately because that is your lane. You are grabbing a niche of a lane that you have practical experience in, the dementia and Alzheimer's. Do you know how many communities are out there talking about dementia and Alzheimer's?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a
So
lot.
my point is, everything that I'm sharing with you, like firearms, when somebody comes in, some people have their own firearms in their house. That's fine. Have you put them away because now you got a patient in here that doesn't all have it together? You want to make sure they can't get into nothing. What have you done to protect
Mm-hmm.
yourself?
Mm-hmm.
What have you done to make sure they can't fall? Because now falling becomes more relevant as they get older and they're in this state because they're not always coordinated,
Right.
right? So,
Not
um,
bad.
it's all of these, it's the alignment between dementia, Alzheimer's, first of all, and that's where you start. It's like, you know what? We really want
That
to
is
talk
actually
about what is the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's. Do you know that Alzheimer's is the pinnacle of the top? Dementia is a step in it. Some people go to dementia first and may or may not get to Alzheimer's. Some people skip dementia altogether and go straight to Alzheimer's. And you'll see it through the progression of their behaviors.
Mhm.
Now, if you have the experiences I did when I was taking care of my mother and we're talking about Alzheimer's, let's talk about and use your framework. This one is for safety. This one is for this. This one is for this, whatever it is. But every piece of your conversation is around dementia and Alzheimer's. That's how you're going to understand. Otherwise, everything you're talking about, people could come to my app and give you no business. That's not my goal. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're
right.
not trying to do that. I need them to want to come to you for the
Yeah.
fact that we talk about Alzheimer's and dementia.
Okay. Okay. I'm
And
clear. And
so
that's where Adrian started. I just wanted to say that she would get me talking about these experiences. And then remember, you asked me, so, when did you know you were walking into this caregiving role? And, I would talk about working in Texas and my mother calling all the time for these small tasks that I knew she knew how to do. I was getting reprimanded by my boss at the time. You're taking too many calls. You're on.
that's the
So
real conversation. People are working every day, and I'm getting these phone calls, and I'm like, what the
yes,
freak is going on? That's
yes,
the deal. That's what
yes.
you want them to feel and hear. That's
Okay,
the real story, not
okay,
surface level. I want the real deal. I want them
okay.
to walk away going. God,
Mm-hmm.
she had to work and got called off, and she went through the same thing because you want somebody in the audience to say, yep, my boss did the same thing to me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? You want them to say, and then it's like, mama calling me for these things. Uh-oh, you know what? My mother's been calling me, and I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about this could be an issue,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even thought about it.
Thinking
And
people
so
she saw every day on her morning walks. Now they're out to get her. They're looking at her funny. The fear was just getting heightened on everything. You could see things and just wondered to yourself, what in the hell is going on with my mother, right? You just all over the place. It wasn't until I
did
went
they
to the
ever
doctor with
did
her,
they
like,
ever
what is
teach
going
you?
on? Look at my mother. There's something going
Yeah.
on.
Did they ever teach you the test to find out about the neurology of the increase in to get to Alzheimer's? I learned it. Did they ever teach you that?
They didn't teach me that. No, but what with this new route with my dad was the blood work, the MRI, and then the cognitive written.
Okay.
But and that's
So
gonna
they didn't have you do the coordination thing with the piece of paper and what you have to do
uh-huh,
and how you talk to them.
uh-huh.
Did you go through all that?
Yep. Drawing a clock, the bed. He just really did all of his. That cognitive part was the last piece to kind of determine where that confusion, which area he was in of the
Yes,
Alzheimer's.
yes.
Yes. So
Okay. Now, that test right there. How
mm-hmm,
many people you think out there know about that?
mm,
So what tool could you let them download and let them use
mm,
so they now know about that? That's where you need to be thinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point because I don't know what y'all talking about. I mean, just being
So,
Okay.
serious. I mean, no, seriously. So that's what you're saying. So in other words, you're filling a gap where people don't know anything. Where yeah, that makes sense. If you have the
so the
The
experience
thing,
mocha
on,
test. Can you
yeah,
see it? I brought a little copy of it. You got to identify the animals. This was my sheet though. I was just doing it along with him. His is still at the doctor. But it's word memory, it's numbers.
so take that sheet, load it into AI,
there you
ask
go.
it to create you the assessment to go with this and give it away. That's what you're giving them
Mm,
away so they walk away with something. That is your
mm.
lead magnet from now on, as you are the expert of dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's. You just got it.
Wow. I love it. Okay.
Now, I had to do the verbal with Mama as well as the written. So
Okay.
they would ask her questions, and then we had to go backwards in numbers and
Mm-hmm.
names. There's a whole
Mm-hmm.
sheet of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Same test. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So my
they
point
just
is,
and
how
my
many?
mother took it, but it didn't look like this. And they just named it the mocha test. I don't think it was named that when my mother was doing it either.
Yeah, but there
Mo-
because there's a verbal and a written. But my point is,
right.
there's your lead magnet right
Okay.
there.
Oh,
People
good
gonna
job.
walk the tool. Then when they find out you got the tool and you got the information, now they're gonna want to talk to you.
Yeah,
Now they're gonna
Yeah.
want to come to your webinars. Now they're gonna want to understand what you do in this area. It ain't about all that other
yeah,
peripheral stuff. Your
that's
niche is this.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what you got to
100%.
focus on.
Okay.
There's and so we went through safety. Now we can go to behavior. So one of those can be one safety. One of those letters is safety. One letter is behaviors and how they're done. When they refuse to take a bath and getting dressed, what you do now?
Let them be. Do
The, the suspicions or accusations. When you start
Ooh,
naming this,
child.
people gonna be like, "Oh my God, she
Yeah.
talking to me. This happened to me
Yes.
today."
That's
That's
definitely a
what I'm
giveaway.
talking about.
Yes. Yeah. The anxiety, the fear. Oh, you have it all there. Yes.
Then this was something I was playing around, and chat came up. I was playing with this, and I
You
was
worse than
asking
me.
for a
I love
tool.
it.
You can have it.
Pause response
I was just
tool.
playing, and you can use it if you want to as your framework. I don't care. But it's called pause. The physical need, the atmosphere, the unmet emotional need, the sudden change, and the easy approach. So the physical need is, could the person be hungry, thirsty, tired, constipated, in pain, uncomfortable, or ill? Ask
Any
these
of
questions
those.
first. Is the room noisy, crowded, unfamiliar, too hot, too cold, or overstimulating? What kind of atmosphere do you have them in? Are they safe? What does it look like? Unmet emotional needs. Could the person be frightened, lonely, embarrassed, confused, or seeking reassurance? Now we know that the adults go back to their childhood. So, like my mom was the second oldest.
Okay.
Her oldest sister played the piano. And she was in the family room playing the piano, and there was a fireplace. And her dress caught on fire when she was standing trying to get warm. And she called my mother's name. And my mother said, the boogeyman got a gust of May. And she burned to death and died. And
Mm.
my mother blamed herself for it. She was a year and a half younger than her. So then my mother became the oldest. And so her emotions when she came as a dementia, understanding what happened back then, Mama always felt, always needed reassurance. She always had to have that extra reassurance, not because, and she never needed it in her adult life, but she needed it now because
Hmm.
all those things from childhood, all those things we don't know about, all those things that we're not cognizant to understand came back to haunt her.
Hmm.
But I knew enough to know that's what it was because I was in tuned enough to know that's what it was. And talking to the doctors enough to say, and doing research enough to understand that a lot of some of the things she was doing was because of her, how much she self blamed herself for her sister dying, blamed that it was her fault, and then said it was because of the boogeyman. And it was all because kids had told her that the boogeyman existed and she didn't know. To this day, I don't let my kids say nothing about no fake crap, nobody, the kids, grandkids. That shit don't exist. Or to be talking like that. But they all know the story now, so they respect it.
Okay.
But the point is, we can train our people to do stuff they're not supposed to do, and it can come back on you later. Be careful what you say today. All of that education, those people in that audience don't know that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was just playing around. This was just something I came up with. The sudden
This is
change,
dementia. That is dementia. Pause
right?
right there.
Is the
It's
behavior new
dementia.
or dramatically worse and all that? Communication reminders, you know, the more you say their name, the more the reminder because they don't always remember their name. So every time I would say something, even to my aunt, I would say, Aunt Jean, Aunt Jean. I repeat her name. Mama. It was like mama, 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 because I wanted her to continue to remember, what was going on. But like I said, she never got to Alzheimer's, so it wasn't that bad. I had other
Okay.
family members I was taking care of get to Alzheimer's. My cousin I took care of had full-fledged Alzheimer's. Oh, Lord have mercy, he had full-fledged Alzheimer's.
Wow.
Yeah, and he get in my face and cuss me out in a heartbeat.
Oh, not easy. Yeah.
A heartbeat.
Mm.
But talking about that, protect the person's voice, have conversations and stuff with them. That's all the things that we need to make sure in area. Build a dementia care team, with the doctors and the social workers and the spouse and all of that. You know, choose the right tools. So I have information. I'll send you parts of this, but my whole point is I need the focus.
I love this structure.
I do too.
I'm not gonna lie. So, like, can you keep going? What's step 9? Okay, so the capacity check, and then what's
Yeah,
up?
this is where, but see, I have a I won't give you this because I have a caregiver's check in my app.
Right.
I
Right.
No, no,
actually
no.
do
I was more
a,
so speaking of steps. So wherever you
yeah,
say stop, but I'm thinking of the structure of the steps. What do you think,
yeah,
Adriane?
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's doing exactly what you said. You know what's crazy? It's doing exactly what you said. So I'm thinking while you both were engaging, I am sitting here thinking about all the signs that I missed with my aunt. Because I took her to the doctor, but I didn't realize because I was moving too fast. I wasn't
Mhm.
asking the right questions. And
Mhm.
I'm literally, so that's what we want a summit presentation to do. You wanted to have those
Invoke
thought
more.
process
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
relate and people to
Here's
be
an
able to relate.
assessment. Here's an assessment you can develop a dementia readiness assessment to go in your kit. And it tells you give yourself points for each one of these. The medical evaluation and diagnosis. Is it complete or is it not complete? Medical management. Your home safety. Did you go through the list? These are the things that your model is going to share about dementia, and you're going to make sure that they've done it. So it's all these things that I just, I don't want you to miss the boat because this is the beginning of your new start. Build your toolbox and your framework now that you're going to be able to leverage after this summit is over with.
Mhm. Mhm.
This generic surface stuff ain't it.
It's
Mhm.
not, this is better. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is
Yeah.
amazing. You're amazing, Dr. Vicky. I can't lie to you. You want me to
Amazing.
say it louder? Can I say it louder?
Louder for the people in the back.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I keep telling her what she is, and I know, but you got to go through the process and the work for it first. You know how, like I did you, okay?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she
Uh-huh.
does me like this all the time too. So she did me
I
like this, and I
love it.
thank her. So,
But you've been trying to pull it out in that regard, but somehow we get back to the technicals. But you want those
but see, that's
stories.
the thing. That's why. So I'm technical. I'm an engineer. So that's the
Yeah.
part for me that I have to. That's why I need. That's and it's the truth. I don't see like you all see. It's the truth.
Mhm.
But see, I'm a technical computer science major. I do the same thing. The difference is that I had to learn in my business to be a business person. I had to learn. one of my biggest gifts, and this is how I put myself through my whole career. I was promoted every 2 years, my entire career, whether it was because of my ability or because they needed a face up there to say we got one. At the end of the day, it didn't matter because this face that they got up there to say they got one delivered a hell of a lot of shit. And then I became the exception. Because now it's like, oh, you can't be one of them. You delivered blah, 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 right? And I was like, no, I'm not an exception. You just need to be able to give people an opportunity. So that's why I'd always pull us up every time I went. But the bottom line is, I got promoted every 2 years doing what nobody else wanted to do, but understanding how to take technical terms and make them business language. Because you know what I learned a lot when I first got started. This is my daddy. Business gonna be around forever, and if you can talk their language, you'll never
Yeah.
be poor.
Yeah.
Mm.
You'll never be poor. So I learned how to take technology, anything, break it down to layman's terms that I could go tell somebody didn't even know what the letter T is in technology and they would get it.
Mm.
That was my specialty. I put my whole career through like that. But that's why I tell stories the way I tell stories. And that's why I kept saying, Adrian, no, it's dementia, it's Alzheimer's. We gotta stick to the story. It's about how this works. That's what people want to hear. When I get forms in and they're talking about, oh, dementia, they don't care about no damn document. They don't care nothing about that med. They want to know, help me survive. What am I supposed to do? How do I recognize the signs? What do I do when I see the signs? Give me some tips I'm gonna walk away with that says this is what you're going to do. That's what they need. And that's what God gave you as a talent, and you letting it waste right here. Right here. I need it out.
I
That's
got
what
you.
I need it out.
Okay. Okay.
Because you've been there, you've done it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get people on the phone. You probably one time I was doing a webinar and I was doing something like this, and it was like people could relate to what I was saying. They were sitting there crying. Like, oh my
Mm.
God, you're talking to me. Yes, I am. And this
Okay.
is how I'm gonna help you. I am talking to you, but this is how I'm gonna help you.
Wow.
People are coming because they need that time is so precious. They have to walk away with something.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Okay. That's a drum board. Okay. I got it. Okay.
Does this
We
make
got
sense?
it. I'm
Got it.
excited. I
Does
mean,
it
I've
make
been
sense?
excited, but this will be a lot more authentic for me than this the way we redo it, the way we remix this,
Yeah, we
this
about to
this gonna
remix
be
this.
good.
Come on. We
This gonna
got
be good.
this. Okay, we're
We
good.
we got this.
Yes,
We
please.
Dr.
good?
Vicky, thank you so
Dr. Vicky, thank
much.
you. Please share this. Are you please share this file with me, please? Do not do me like
So
that.
we can start working on that right away.
Right, we're on this right now. And we just needed a little Dr. Vicky love. We need to make a tool called the Dr. Vicky love because again, it's so you just bring it. I keep telling you, you bring it. But I wanted to bring something because I hate to bring nothing. But I knew you was gonna come with something. So I did listen. I'm trying to be honest. I knew, but I know you will never come to a meeting and not have anything. I don't care what anybody says. You never do that. I don't give. That's disrespect. So, but this is, but no, this is so much better. I don't have an ego, so I want everybody to know that I never do. I want the best because we have to help people. It's this dementia is a serious thing. I know how much it affected me as well. So please help us
So
help.
here's the deal. Now, here I'm gonna talk to you for a minute to piggyback off of her.
Okay.
Your financials is
Yes.
important. And where
It
you
is.
started talking about financials and insurance, I want you to provide some insight and solutions to what she's talking about with dementia. So it looks like this. We have this dementia thing. We got Alzheimer's. We're going through the emotions. We're going through the behaviors. We're going through the safety. We're going through we're going through the behaviors. We're going through the safety. We're going through the verbal abuse, the things that are happening. We're going through all of these things that we're doing. And all of it sits on top of a foundation. That foundation of impact is, can I afford to get help? If not, how do I get there? And how do I plan for the future? So there's a journey. If you're at the beginning of the journey where you have no life insurance, we need to get something because you got to be prepared. And here's some research of some places that, irrespective to medical condition, can give you some kind of insurance to help you. If you have, and then and go down the line. So I'm at the beginning, I don't have insurance. If you have insurance, but you don't have long-term care, and now you've got this extra thing that you're having to deal with, how do I plan with that? Do I put $1 aside a week in a bank and let it draw interest? Are there tools or things, products that I could go purchase today? Might be $25, but it helps me. What does AARP offer? What does the government offer? So when you go in and you're looking at these financials, I want you to go check your location for government resources in these areas so that you can understand what those resources are that are available to you. So you can begin to investigate. Can I take advantage of that? So that I can go get the support I need in terms of moving forward. Now, how does that play financially when we start talking about our medical care? We have Medicaid and we have Medicare. And there's implications with both of them when you're starting to look at dementia, that financial side to it. When you make too much money and don't qualify for Medicaid and you got to get on Medicare, now you got more private pay. All right, so let's talk about the next thing of private pay. How do I deal with that? You went through a journey of a story right there.
So
And
So in
when,
other words, so Biana talks about the that form. This is the how do I plan for the future and the financial piece. So
yeah,
the takeaway, yep. So it's starting at the beginning and then even tying into the importance of the beneficiaries and the updates and if the
that's it. That's what I'm talking about. So you're
opportunity
starting at
across
the
the regards
beginning
to.
and you're
Okay.
going down the whole storyline.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're going through the whole storyline because they got to be prepared. And the biggest problem we have is we're not prepared. We don't know. So just like she's doing a prepared section for
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer's, are you prepared over here? If not, let's talk about that. Let's talk a little bit about that journey. But y'all are going to have to split your time. But what you're doing, and it's almost like Ayana is talking about all of her dementia, and you can interview her through that to walk her through if you want to. But then you talking about all the financial foundation implication and that roadmap, and they're gonna walk away with something. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because the financial has to support
Yes.
all of this. Because at the end of the day, when somebody dies,
Yes.
who paying for the services? Well, I couldn't afford to take care of services. Cremation costs an arm and a freaking leg today. And it's illegal to take them out in the backyard and bury them.
Right.
So what you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do? So people do GoFundMe pages. They try to figure out how they gonna do it. And then you got these places who will put the body in ashes and they put them in bags because nobody can afford the urn.
Hmm.
That's
But what's
real.
even
That's
more
real talk.
devastating is the beginning of it, the diagnosis itself. Like, I rarely hear terminal disease behind it. There's no cure, so it's terminal, right? But the insurance part plays so heavy into a terminal disease. You have
That's
to
right.
plan. You have to plan.
And so if I've gotten a terminal disease today, there are things you can do. And you notice I'm an insurance agent, so I know you know this, that as an insurance, you can buy certain insurance policies that are made to just for the fact that are short term at the end of your life cycle to make sure you got enough money to bury your butt.
Mm-hmm.
right? People don't know that. They don't even know the stuff exists. So what I'm saying is that the correlation here is so relevant that you support what that is, but it's a journey. Your journey of the very beginning, where I don't have, let me give you some options and some things you can go do to get started. To yes, I have, but I'm not prepared for the end. Now, how do I get prepared for the end? What am I doing for the inside of it? What does that mean? Because all that in between is caregiving, and that's private pay. So when I get to private pay, what do? You do what Vicky did. You lost all your damn money, all your savings, all your bank account, all your retirement. You have a pot to pee in when it was over with.
Mm.
Because when they started talking long-term care, my parents were too old to get it. It would cost an arm and a freaking ass leg, and nobody could afford it then.
Mm.
And my parents made good money, but they couldn't afford it then. It was too expensive because people weren't talking a lot about it. It was brand new. People starting to talk about it. Now, when you go to talk to a financial advisor, he like, you got your long-term care plan in place?
I
I
have a
remember
guy
when
40, I have a guy graduated with 47 years old, making seven figures and lost everything in regards, didn't have a long-term care plan, had a stroke, didn't take care of his health, 47 years
Mm.
old. And so right
okay,
now in Lansing, Michigan, incapacitated from the neck down, just because of not taking care of business, not doing it
but
seriously.
that is what we're talking about. That's
Yeah,
real talk. I don't
that's what
want
we're
no
talking.
fake talk. This real talk. My summit's a real talk. We got some real
Okay.
talk in here. My mind ain't working right now.
We gotta switch it up. Okay, we got it. Yes, please.
We
Thank
got
you.
it.
We
We
got it.
Okay.
got
All
it.
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
We got
Let
this.
me get let me get back to making my videos and getting this stuff
All
done. 'Cause I
right.
got
Yep.
Good night,
Thank,
Dr. Vicky.
thank
Thanks
you.
so
Good night.
much. We'll
We
good
do
love
this
you.
night.
again next week, maybe, or we
Uh-huh.
just gonna be ready.
Well, we
No,
can
we
do
can.
it. We can do it one more time before we get ready to finally do it. I just because I want to make sure this makes sense because
Okay.
I don't want it to be disjointed
Yes.
and I want it to flow. And today was more disjointed. So we need to make sure that we go through it and that you feel comfortable and all of that and that it marries.
We agree.
Got you.
We're on.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Uh-huh. Bye.
All
Okay.
right. Good
Bye.
night.
So I knew that was gonna happen. But
What?
you can't go into that's like going into the basketball game and I don't have my jersey on, I don't have a playbook, I don't have, you know what I'm saying? You can't go into a game, like you just can't. So
You
but
gotta have something, and I love that we had something, but that she curtailed it for what we need to have. Right? I'm good.
I wasn't about
I'm
to spend a
good.
whole bunch of time on because I knew she was gonna do that. Like and
You say
so
you mad you did?
so again, so I'm good with and but I want to make sure you're good with what I mean. I'm like, she's right though. That was right. Yeah, I can't even lie to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everything that she said, I'm agreeing with
Everything she
100%.
said was like, oh yeah, you're right. We need to
Right.
be more authentic, more yeah, all of that. They
So
want the
I'm gonna take what she sent, and then I guess we'll break it down where we break up you give you 5 minutes, or however what's it, we have 15 minutes, that type of thing, we'll figure it out. We'll figure that part
Mhm.
out. So we'll see. I like how the steps though. So maybe just the emotion, just tell the story, put that up on the screen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then just like each one, you just tell the story.
Right. I like that. I could do that.
What was that piece of paper that you held up?
This is the written part of the testing that they do to determine what type of Alzheimer's you have. They do an MRI to see your amyloid, what the amyloid is what's causing the masses on your brain. And so the MRI blood work, they can see it in your blood now. And then this
Mm-hmm.
test is the final determination. So this first one, I know you can't really see it, but he had to connect the dots from A to E in ascending order with a number behind it. So it went from A to 1, then you go
Mm-hmm.
to B2, C3 until you get to E. So that's mine. That's in a perfect. And then you had to draw this bed, this 3D bed right there. Can you tell what
Mm-hmm.
that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was mine. And he actually did good on both of those. This is a clock. Draw a wall clock. And
Mm-hmm.
she said, draw the number 5 after 10. So that's 10:05, right?
Right.
So he had a long, I mean, numbers was bunched. It's just amazing how something that used to be so simple for him, he couldn't do, right?
Mm.
This was easy. Identifying those three animals, he got all of those right.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it got difficult. So the next area is, oh, she gave him 5 words. Lead, cotton, school, tomato, and white.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you say them, she said them twice to him, and then he has to remember those words at the end of the paper here. That's the last
Mm-hmm.
thing she comes back to, those 5 words. So by the time we got down there, he couldn't remember the words, but then she's able to give him like lead hints. And so
Mm-hmm.
he was able to get 2 out of the 5. She said something about, I gave you 3 colors. Then she said blue, white, and purple or something. Oh, he got that one wrong because he said blue. But she did that on a body part. That's what he did get leg. He kind of remembered, I guess. Couldn't remember tomato, cotton, or school. But um, the other two was a number sequence. Um, just repeating, and he's good with numbers, so he did this. Repeat 24815. 24815. He did good on those two. Um, then it's a repetitive letter in here, which she picked it to be A. Every time you hear the word A, tap your hand on the counter. So he
Mm-hmm.
did fairly well with that too. There's another number one, subtract 7 from 53, and he's a
Mm-hmm.
numbers man. He all of that's his thing. So he got those right. I was like, oh, okay. But when it came to these last few, which one was it? Name name maximum number of words in 1 minute that begin with the letter B. It can't be a noun, and it can't be something else. So he kept thinking, boy, no, can't do that. But
Right.
then
Right.
he started saying words like beautiful, besties, and then she was like, yeah, okay. But kind of struggling with that. And then similar things. A banana and an orange are what? Fruit. First it was like food. And then hammer and the screwdriver are what? The answer quickly is tools, right?
Right.
But
Right. Right.
just little stuff like that he struggled with. And then matches and a lamp. And he said lantern, and she thought that was so funny because she see how he got it. It's all kind of lighted things. But wait a minute, they not on a call. What you need? Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm coming. Okay. Oh, excuse me.
You gotta go. Go ahead, Sans.
No, no, no. That's him trying to give me my nightcap in the garage. I just, he can wait.
You're right. I ain't mad. I ain't
He
mad.
usually my son about this time. Then I'll be up another couple of hours trying to dig in.
Right.
I'm trying to learn this, but that just gave me so much because what I would like to do now, knowing that, is voice note a couple of my experiences, like even the times at work, like even when I first got here, and going to those doctor visits. All of that was like real deal torment for me, and I think voice notes or your story, however you did it, if I put it in AI, will give me some real, work. Although I know the story, how do you want to say it that's compelling and hard hitting? So, um,
So for each step, I think so. For each step, if you think of a story that's relatable, that type thing, and then that way, so you can kind of, and then so we'll go through just telling the story naturally, put it in the AI, and then that way you can see how it looks.
okay.
So just how we talked the other day. So once she
Mhm.
sends me the document or what have you, go
Yeah.
ahead and do your curtail for the night. Great job. And so once she sends the document, we can throw it into the AI to create the slide presentation, and then create, like you said, create a personable, emotional story to tie in for
Hmm.
each one. And then that
Yes.
way take a look at it and do the presentation from that angle. So yeah, that'll be a better angle. I agree.
Okay, great.
Okay, dokie. I knew
All
she was gonna
right.
come with it. I thought we did. Yeah, I already knew. I really did. But you can't come with nothing. I just knew that too.
Right. That's what you know.
But I like how that will be able to help directly with dementia, and that will keep the focus and everything as well. So we can figure out the structure as well. So when she sends me that, I'll send it to you, and then we can figure it out together.
Beautiful.
Love
Love
you.
you, A.
All
Talk
right,
to you later.
man. All
Okay.
right, talk soon.
Uh,
Thank you. Okay.
yes, yes.